always liked the seductive side of vampires, the idea that they're so dangerous and yet they're so sexy.
She calls herself a model, an actress, a grieving widow, and a CEO of a mega-million-dollar company. Her dead husband's family calls her a gold digger.
She's gotten everything. While he was dying, she refused to come see him the last hour of his life.
Gerald Kessler was a vitamin tycoon, estimated worth a whopping $800 million. Kessler died at age 80, his beautiful young bride just 49, and she got nearly all of it.
I just think that she's full of it because she never wore a ring. She didn't take his name.
Now Gerald Kessler's heirs want to take Gerald Kessler's company back.
But you won't call her Gerald's wife?
No, absolutely not.
Nashville attorney David Callahan was hired by Gerald Kessler's children and grandchildren to get their inheritance back. And Callahan uncovered a secret landmine that could blow everything sky high.
The big secret that came out after his death was that they were never married.
Despite this marriage certificate, Gerald Kessler and Meadow Williams may have never been married in the eyes of the law.
She committed bigamy by pretending that she wasn't married and married my grandfather.
There was no divorce decree.
Callahan claims Meadow was acting single but never divorced her first husband. He says Meadow was legally married to another man when she said, "I do," to Gerald Kessler. Could that mean the new matriarch of the Kessler family and fortune is a bigamist?
It's a tabloid story.
These court records obtained by Crime Watch Daily show Meadow filed for divorce from Mark Spadafino in Los Angeles in 1994. But Callahan claims the divorce was never finalized.
Is the marriage between Meadow and Gerald, is that a real marriage? Is it a bigamist marriage? I mean, what is it?
It's a bigamist marriage, and the way that the law is structured, the attempted marriage is just void. It's not voidable, it's just void. It's as though it never occurred. So Gerald Kessler and Meadow Williams, in the eyes of the law of the state of Nevada and every other state, were never legally married.
But in the most shocking twist of all, Meadow and her legal team fired back with an explanation no one saw coming. They said Gerald, quote, knew there was no actual divorce decree, but he did not care. He wanted to marry Miss Williams.
They say your father knew that she wasn't divorced and didn't care and wanted to marry her anyway.
That's absolute bull. Jerry Kessler would never do that in a million years. Not if he was in his right mind, no.
Yeah, that's completely bogus. That's not who my grandfather was. He would never do that.
This is the part I don't understand. Your father went through the trouble of divorcing your mother specifically to marry Meadow. So why would he marry a woman who is still married to another man?
He just spent a year divorcing my mother and getting his divorce decree. Why would he not spend another 5 days to complete her divorce and have it done right when his main thing for marrying her was to get the marital deduction? So it makes no sense at all.
You can still leave all of your money to someone who you're not married to. So what difference does it make whether they were married or not?
Well, the difference that it makes in this particular case is that Gerald, first of all, calls Meadow his wife in the trust.
It says right there in Gerald Kessler's trust, quote, I am married to Meadow Williams. While the parties slug it out in a Nevada court, Meadow is still in charge of all the assets as the trustee of Gerald's estate. Grandson Marshall Kessler, who until recently worked at Natural Organics and still lives in the Kessler family home in Melville, New York, says Grandma Meadow is playing hardball.
My health insurance got cut off, I got fired from my job, and they sent me an eviction letter from my house. My entire family grew up in this house. This house means everything to me.
A judge halted the eviction, at least for now, but Marshall and the other heirs contesting the trust stand to lose what little was left to them because of a no contest clause. Marshall was willed another home in New York, Craig $100,000, but lose and they get nothing.
So then why fight this?
just to rectify a wrong. I mean, what she's done is so outrageously wrong that something needs to be done.
We tried to talk to Meadow, but her PR team and attorney wouldn't let Crime Watch Daily near her. Meadow's attorney, Adam Streisand, scheduled an interview with me and then canceled. He emailed this statement instead. The questions these plaintiffs have raised about Mr. Kessler's marriage are nothing but a smokescreen to obscure the fact that they are the only gold diggers here. Mr. Kessler set up the trust in its current form in mid-2013, nearly 2 years before he died, and it's essentially the same as the trust he made in 2009 before he married Ms. Williams. While Ms. Williams is the largest beneficiary, Mr. Kessler also provided millions in that trust to certain grandchildren and $60 million in other trusts for the benefit of his family members, even ones with whom he had no relationship. But that wasn't enough. Craig admits he wasn't close to his father, didn't speak to him for years.
He was very difficult as a father.
At one point, his father even cut him out of his will.
He still was my father. I still loved him. I still was there for him.
But the Kesslers say nobody loved Gerald more than his grandson, Marshall. At age 7, Marshall moved in with the man he called Papa because of his own father's addiction problems.
Right, he saved my life, basically. You know, if I still lived in the conditions I did when I was younger, I probably wouldn't be alive.
When I ask Marshall about the ring his grandfather is wearing in this picture, he surprises me and pulls it out from under his shirt.
This is the ring. And he gave this to me right before he passed away.
You get emotional when you talk about it.
I mean, it's emotional, you know. A lot of the pictures I have of my grandfather are still at the office, and I don't have access to them, so.
So when someone professes to love him and you don't think that that's true,
Yeah.
why does that eat away at you?
He's the only person who, he's the only person who believed in me, you know? No one else believed in me like he believed in me. And, I just, you know, I can't thank someone enough for that. I can't thank someone for, you know, he's my world. He's my world.
A world once paved with gold, now lined with uncertainty.
So Anna, it's an interesting case. Where is it at now?
Very beginning stages, Matt. It's in a Nevada courthouse right now. It's a civil case being litigated. It could be years before we know the answer to this one.
And what about these bigamy claims? The key question now becomes, could Williams face criminal charges here?
Well, I think first a judge needs to decide who was married, who was not married, and in what configuration. And until that's figured out, we can't even talk about bigamy.
There's going to be a long road ahead yet, that's for sure. Thanks so much, Anna. We'll, of course, follow this case, bring you the very latest on this show and also on our website, crimewatchdaily.com.